When a team wins a championship, they're looking to build a dynasty. And if they're lucky, they build an empire. But few championship teams are able to do this, and their so-called empire falls before they can really even lay the groundwork. The Celtics spent the last decade building their kingdom, and winning that ring last year, well, they just won their first war, and whispers of a new empire are making their way around. But many were quick to call it a fluke, having one of the easiest paths to a championship in recent history. Any kingdom can conquer a village, they said. And so coming into this season, the Celtics needed to quiet the haters, and on opening night, they did just that.
Horford, corner three. Shoots. Three. He was with Brooklyn. Tatum three goes the other way. Jason White. Three. He'll launch a three. It's a three from Brown.
The Celtics made a loud and clear statement that night. We were the best team last year, but don't you think for a second we're going anywhere. And they really did seem unstoppable. After that performance, the Celtics showed the world that the championship was no fluke. The kingdom defends their space. Perhaps calling them an empire isn't as bold as it once seemed. And as the season continued, they continued to be hot. They won 16 out of their first 19 games of the season, putting them on pace to win 68 games, all while scoring 121 points per game. Not too shabby. And mind you, they were doing this all without their third best player in Kristaps Porzingis. Indeed, the Celtics were cooking, riding neck and neck with the conference leaders, the Cavs and the Thunder. And then, they were not.
Finds Jalen, he'll take the three, no good.
Yeah.
Look out, Joe Mazzulla. Oh, he's talking to Justin Van Dyne. Holiday, there's that play to Tatum, forces up a three.
When the Celtics win, they win by a lot. Even in this slump they're having, they've had some incredible victories. But funny enough, during these blowouts, their starters don't really have to play that much, so we don't really see how they struggle in late game situations. Because let me tell you, when the starters do have to play in the fourth, they seem to really lack the energy down the stretch. In reality, the Celtics have been struggling, and despite putting up good numbers, they've really been choking in late game situations. In their game against the Hawks a couple weeks back, they had the advantage, being up 3 with 20 seconds left. Somehow, they have this lazy turnover. Trey hits his free throws, and in classic Celtics fashion, Tatum misses the game winner. In overtime, despite being gifted 2 missed free throws, the Hawks end up getting this offensive rebound. So after getting 2 more free throws, the Celtics have a shot to tie the game. But in classic Celtics fashion, Tatum misses the game-tying shot. This season, Jason Tatum shoots a career low at 27% from 3 during the fourth quarter, and Jaylen Brown's even worse, shooting at 25%. Their late-game three-point shooting has never looked this bad. Jaylen Brown especially has been fighting some demons this season. I don't know if it's him trying to live up to his name as Finals MVP, or if he's trying to impress some baddie sitting courtside. Whatever his motivation is, he needs to find a new spark. Because the offense shuts down when he gets the ball. What little ball movement there might have been in the fourth quarter comes to a complete stop when he gets the ball. While he was a solid catch-and-shoot player in the past who knew his role in the offense, he seems to have gotten amnesia and completely forgotten these parts of his game. In the last 10 games, his three-point shooting has been exceptionally bad, only shooting 20% from beyond the arc. But it's not just the two superstars. Derek White and Sam Hauser have both been shooting only 29% in the last 10 games, compared to their season averages of 41% and 35%. The Celtics are a team that rely heavily on threes, with the highest three-point attempts in the league at a blistering 49 attempts per game. While shooting in-rhythm threes is a great tactic and the analytics prove this to be the correct course of action, forcing deep shots at the expense of better looks seems to be a common theme among this group. There seems to be a major lack of effort on the defensive side of things as well. In the past few seasons, the Celtics have been known to be dogs on the defensive end, but that vigor just doesn't seem to be there at this moment. The defensive rotations have been sloppy, letting teams get open shots, and the two primary defensive guards in Jrue Holiday and Derek White seem to lack the intensity that they did in the past as well. Since Peyton Pritchard has been so dominant on the offensive end this season, he's been getting way more minutes, and deservedly so, but this allows teams to attack the small guard, which does create a black hole in the Celtics defense overall. And on top of all this, Al Horford is a dinosaur. And while he's been a defensive asset in the past, he's just too old to maintain that quick step he once had. So with all this being said, are the Celtics destined to have a failure of a season and continue to move down in the standings? Or will they find a way to bounce back, and maybe even reclaim their throne in the East? What the Celtics are experiencing isn't unique whatsoever. This kind of slump is pretty common for teams coming off a championship. For one, being champions means that they had a shorter offseason than other teams. With less time to rest, championship teams are often more injury prone the following seasons. Think of the Cavaliers, for example. After winning the title in 2016, the team was bombarded with injuries the following season. J.R. Smith fractured his thumb, Kyle Korver played limited games due to a foot injury, and Kevin Love ended up getting surgery on his knee. And after making 5 straight finals, it seems like all hell broke loose for the Warriors in 2019, with Kevin Durant tearing his Achilles and Klay Thompson tearing his ACL. Even among teams that were able to repeat, they faced their slumps. The Miami Heat were able to repeat in the 2012-2013 season, but few people remember that they faced their struggles as well. They started with a mediocre 14-6 record, breaking 17th in defensive efficiency during this early stretch. During this time, they lost to the 1-13 Wizards and the 10-22 Pistons. But of course, once Miami found their footing, they went on a historic 27-game win streak and ended up bringing the title home for a second year in a row. Even the KD Warriors faced their own struggles during the 2017-2018 season, predominantly in performing in crunch time. Their offensive rating was 6 points lower than average during the clutch, and they averaged 3.5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes of games alone. This led to their own fair share of heartbreaking losses.
Harden shake and bake, steps back, three-pointer, bang!
But of course we all know how that season ended, as they swept the Cavs despite LeBron having a historic postseason. Comparing the Celtics seasons to these teams really puts their struggles into perspective, because despite these uncharacteristic losses, they still managed to make statement wins, and even with these losses, they still remain in the top 3 in the standings. All in all, I don't think the Celtics slump is really anything for Celtics fans to be worried about, and even if they don't win the championship again this year, they will make a solid run in the playoffs for sure. While it might be too early to call the Jason Tatum Celtics an empire, they will be winning their battles again soon enough. Thanks for watching. Hooligan.